is number 4 of our little series looking at scales and using the keyboard mainly as a visual aid. And we had in the last video discussed the major scale. If there's any term you don't understand, please do go over the other scales. They should build up so you can follow all the technical terms. But it's not a course on theory with this one, it's just some aspects of theory looked at through this lens of the piano keyboard. So in the C major scale, you might remember they're all white keys. There's 2 rules. We have the letter name rule. One letter name follows another, no gaps. And the other one is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now there's an interesting effect. The C in C major is called the keynote, and there's another interesting term of naming the 7th note, and I'm going to play up to the 7th note and stop. If I leave you with that, I think, well I do anyway, feel a tension here, and I want that to go on and resolve at the keynote again. And that effect is called the leading note. The leading note is only a semitone away from the keynote, and that's why it's got this sort of pull of building up a tension and then resolving it. So that key note, leading note relationship is important for the minor scales. And unfortunately I've used the plural because there's not only one. But there is one that only uses white keys as well, and therefore we call it that key. Those 2 keys are related to one another, and we call them minor relative. So I'm looking at the minor relative of C major, which is A minor. Here we go. And the A minor scale using just white keys is the natural minor. And now let's look at the leading note idea. Do we have the same thing or not? Could go here. Might as well could go down without any ill effects. We don't have the same pull. And if you look closely, that last step between G and A is not a semitone, it's a tone. And therefore we're not happy to just have that natural minor scale. It's a nice template to start off. We don't hear it played very much on its way up, especially because of the leading note, the missing leading note. Now all we have to do then is just find the leading note, which you do by going down a semitone from the A in this case, which takes us here. According to the letter name rule, A has to be preceded by G, so we had this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And to name this note, so we have to use the letter G, and we call this one a G sharp. So the next minor is called harmonic and is otherwise the same except as the natural, except for the G, which is a G sharp here. Here we go. It's a very nice one for finding chords if we want to accompany something in A minor. It's got a little funny sort of progression of steps at near the top. If I look at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a semitone. 6, 7 is a huge gap in comparison. We have a tone and a half, and of course 7 and 8 is our leading note effect, half a step or a semitone away. So this is a small step. To make it more easy to find a smooth way to create melodies in A minor, we might not want sort of this bumpy road here, small, big, small again, for the top part of the scale. So we can, of course, easily enlarge that step a bit, so we get a 6th note that is higher as well. So we had an F here. We have to keep the name F in the name of the note, but playing that key, this becomes an F sharp. So here we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 2 raised notes coming from that white key only template. That's all very nice. Now there's one snag about coming down in the same way as we just came up, and I'm going to demonstrate why. If I play this, and this is a piece in minor, starting from the top down. Sounds a bit strange. So I say, okay, I'm starting with the same few notes at the top, and I'm going to call this is the piece in major. If you were able to watch me, I only changed one note. Everything at the top was exactly the same. So it's a bit confusing. So if I came down only to here, nobody would know I'm a major or minor, and it's a bit late maybe to find out only at the third notes from the end of my scale. And it's therefore that we think, well, there's a better way to solve that. We've had the leading note leading us up, but on the way down we don't really need it anymore. And we had changed 2 notes, if you remember, from the original natural minor, 6 and 7 in numbers. And now we're just going to get rid of both those raised notes again. We're reverting to the natural minor, which in A minor means white keys only. And we're coming down in this way. And therefore we're very clearly in minor, even when we start from the top down. So the whole of the melodic scale is really a combination of melodic upwards and equals the natural coming down. Here we go. So important that all of these 3 variations of minor, natural, harmonic and melodic, are in use. And the nice part of it is that the bottom 5 notes are not affected. They always remain the same, and whatever change might occur happens from the 6th or even only for the 7th note onwards. So there's a bit of a point maybe to remember the order of notes in tones and semitones, since they don't change from number 1 to number 5, which goes tone, semitone,